whatever you do, stick and move. Stick and move. Don't stand in front of that man. Do not stand in front of my man.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike,
Jake, what do you think of Jake?
Clown. Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him.
Did you ever do a fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
Stephen A. Smith exploded on live TV with one of his fiercest tirades yet, ripping into Gervonta Tank Davis with his trademark fire and unfiltered honesty. He slammed Davis for agreeing to face YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul, branding the matchup a circus rather than a contest. With sharp words, Smith accused Tank of abandoning boxing's integrity in exchange for viral hype and
Steven, I wanted you to come on the show to tell me that you think I'm a great boxer.
I think you're a damn good boxer with a lot of potential. And I got one problem with you, and I told you this already. You are skilled. You cannot be going in the ring beating up on dudes that you know don't box. You can't have a basketball player, UFC fighters. No, they strike. They don't box. There's a difference. They're not on your level.
As we all know, as a competitive sport boxing fan, this is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense for the sport, for Tank as a world champion fighting Jake Paul, as Jake Paul trying to become a world champion fighting Tank. None of that makes sense. Business-wise, this thing's gonna blow up. So let's see about the business of this thing. Let's see what the narrative is for this fight. Because again, I think Jake's gonna come in there and try to knock Tank Davis out. And if Tank's not taking him seriously, believe it or not, that potentially could happen. And I'll explain why. The breakdown, let's go.
Smith hammered home the massive weight and pedigree disparity, reminding viewers that Jake Paul typically enters the ring at over 200 pounds, while Davis fights at 135. He warned that such spectacles could drag boxing's reputation into dangerous territory, transforming the sport into little more than sideshow entertainment. This wasn't Smith's first time confronting Davis either. After Davis's controversial majority draw with Lamont Roach in March, Smith defended Tank's standing.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me to believe a year later that you're gonna be in any condition to really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I wanna say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you wanna make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're gonna have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested. Gervonta Davis might be every bit as box office as Maverick himself. As exciting, as electric, because this dude performs every time out, y'all. Wherever Davis goes, wherever he fights, fans justifiably follow. He's that special. And Davis is without a doubt one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now. Don't you even doubt it.
At one point, Smith even ranked Davis among the top 3 fighters on the planet, celebrating his explosive power, refined skill, and knockout ability. He reminded audiences that Tank is a proven world champion, not a sideshow act. By contrast, Jake Paul is largely a YouTuber and celebrity-turned-novice, with limited pedigree in the sport. For a fighter as established as Davis, Smith argued, stepping into the ring with such an inexperienced opponent risks undermining his credibility. That's why Smith bluntly declared that Tank should be ashamed.
The world to recognize. This is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3. You can make a legitimate argument for him to be in 3, 1, or whatever. Frank Martin, props to him, came into the fight 18-0, 12 knockouts. Clearly did not have the power to keep Gervonta Davis from stalking him from opening tap. That's what he did. He stalked him and stalked him and stalked him, okay? Frank Martin caught him with some good shots. Gervonta Davis kept coming. So he can punch. He's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes. He finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer. And so the time has come for this man.
Smith also tore into the growing trend of mismatched exhibition fights, particularly criticizing spectacles like Paul versus Mike Tyson. He described them as sad, disappointing, and harmful distractions from what boxing should represent. His message was direct. Jake Paul needs to face real fighters in their prime, not legends from the past or non-boxers stepping in for entertainment. Still, Smith wasn't blind to Paul's promotional brilliance. He acknowledged that Paul undeniably draws attention.
Jake Paul is a professional. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Better be a Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican Monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation. The time has come for Jake Paul to step into the ring with a cat who actually boxes for a living and give us that fight. I appreciate the fact of him promoting. I appreciate him having the cachet as a former YouTuber turned boxer. I like Jake Paul. I respect Jake Paul. I'm just saying, because I like him and because I respect him, I want to see him in the ring. And I don't want to hear, I know his numbers are better, but then he gonna say, I don't need Canelo, Canelo needs me. Well, wait a minute. It ain't just about popularity, bruh.
When Davis fired back at him after the Tyson fight, Jake Paul diffused the tension with humor. At the post-fight press conference, Paul welcomed the idea of fighting Davis but couldn't resist making fun of their physical difference. He joked about weight classes and even poked fun at Tank's height, asking whether boxing also enforces a height rule. The playful jab highlighted the absurdity of the matchup while keeping the mood light. It was both a taunt and a wink to the audience, showing that even Paul understood the mismatch at the center of the heated debate.
Right. Jake Paul responds to Gervonta Tank Davis' call out and absolutely takes the moment and the opportunity to clown Gervonta Tank Davis's height in the sport of boxing. And he says here, is there a height limit in the sport of boxing? This is where Jake Paul says, and his team, Gervonta Tank Davis needs me. We don't need Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's listen here.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all this stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
All of a sudden, we want to know, who will win in this fight? Jake Paul or Tank Davis? It's a legit question. And I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win. Because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got
Personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank
the
too
way
little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight classes for a reason.
Davis
that weight classes for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's too
6'1",
little.
205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight with these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. 135 pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30 pound difference, bro, if you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30 pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what I feel like is gonna happen versus Jake and Tank.
And that wraps up today's breakdown. Stay tuned for more explosive boxing news, wild confrontations, and deep dives into the biggest stories shaking up the fight world. Until next time.